You called the Kingdom Hall phone. You said you had an Enjoy Life Forever book?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So what was your name?
My name is Robert Skinner.
Robert Skinner. Okay, well, pleased to talk to you. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
How can we help?
Yes, just which Kingdom Hall? Are you Minehead? Is that right?
No, we're Exeter, Pennsylvania.
Exeter, Pennsylvania. Okay, thank you.
There are three congregations in Exeter.
Right.
We're one of the three. Pennsylvania's the north part of town, hence the name, and then there's Carrick and Heathertree. But the Kingdom Hall is in Holloway Road in Exeter. Is that near where you are?
I'm somewhat to the west of Exeter, but
okay.
I would prefer to speak on the phone anyway. It's more convenient for me. One thing that...
Are you near Crediton?
Pardon?
Are you Crediton side of Exeter?
No.
No. Okay.
No. One thing that puzzles me is lesson 13 on page 55. Right. How false religion misrepresents God. Do you have a copy of the book with you?
I can put my hand on one. Yes.
Good. Okay.
Okay, got that.
What puzzles me is paragraph 2. Shall I read it, or do you want to read it? This is the one that puzzles me the most.
Yeah, you could read it. Well, I've got it here, so I could... You're welcome to read it as well if you'd like to.
False religion does not treat people as Jehovah does. The Bible says that false religion's sins have massed together clear up to heaven. Sorry about the clock. For centuries, religions have meddled in politics, supported wars, and caused or approved the death of countless numbers of people. Some religious leaders enjoy a lavish lifestyle and demand money from their followers to pay for it. These actions prove they do not even know God, yet alone have the right to represent him. What concerns me is the statement about politics and warfare. The book seems to be saying that if a religion is in any way connected to politics or warfare, then it cannot represent Jehovah God. I mean, have I got that right?
Well, the principle would be that Jesus said his kingdom was no part of the world. It said, and he continued when he spoke, if it had been, then his followers would have fought to protect him and maybe stopped his arrest and death. So he established the principle that his kingdom wasn't from a human source. And in fact, he told us to pray for God's kingdom in what's called the Lord's Prayer. So we take a position of neutrality with regard to political affairs, so we neither oppose nor take sides in matters of politics.
Is that an honest answer? Is that truthful?
It is, yes. Yeah, we're politically neutral. So because it's an international group of people, then that's a protection in many lands, because otherwise you would tend to support the politics of the country that you're born in, whereas we have believers in all countries. And so the position of neutrality is a protection. It avoids nationalism in particular.
Is that a truthful comment? Is that a truthful statement?
Yes, it is. Do you have any other thoughts on that? Any counter-argument?
I'm not arguing with you. I'm trying to determine what you believe. Let me go back to your books. You didn't answer my question. Your book says, for centuries, religions have meddled in politics, supported wars, and caused or approved the death of countless numbers of people. Some religious leaders enjoy a lavish lifestyle and demand money from their followers to pay for it. These actions prove they do not even know God, yet alone have the right to represent him. Is your book saying that any religion that meddles in politics or supports a war cannot represent Jehovah God? Is that the position of your book?
Well, Jehovah's a God of peace.
You're deflecting again. Could you just answer the question?
Well, I'm answering the question. We follow Jesus' teachings, and he said whoever takes up a sword will die by the sword, when Peter tried to protect him with a sword. So we don't go to war.
That's not true. I mean, I'm sorry, it's just not true.
Well, it is. In fact, in Nazi Germany, hundreds of witnesses were put in the concentration camps because they wouldn't join the Nazi army. And also in Britain,
you're making multiple points.
My father-in-law was imprisoned twice as an 18-year-old because of his neutrality, and he wouldn't take up arms.
Could you just address the question I asked you? Your book says, for the third time, for centuries religions have meddled in politics, supported wars, and caused or approved the deaths of countless numbers of people. Then it goes on, these actions prove they do not even know God, yet alone have the right to represent him. Is your book saying yes or no that any religion, I'm not talking about Jehovah's Witnesses, your book is talking about religion in general.
Yes.
Is your book saying that any religion which meddles in politics or support wars cannot represent Jehovah God? Is that what your book is saying, yes or no?
That is what it says, yes, and we would say that's true.
Right, okay, that's an answer to my question, thank you. One of the awakes, I went on jw.org and I did an awful lot of reading for several weeks. One of the awakes I found was the awake for the 22nd of April 1993. Page 6 calls any church which is involved in warfare pawns of Satan the devil, which is kind of a harsh statement to make, but are you familiar with that quote?
I don't have it next to me.
Okay.
But many people that we meet are put off religion for that very reason. They find it very difficult when they see wars, for example, in the Middle East at the moment, where you have Muslims and Jews, or in other countries, Muslims and Hindus and Sikhs. Some would support the position of their religion, but increasingly we find that people are becoming even atheistic because they can't disassociate religion from the Creator, from God himself, and therefore they say they're not interested in any religion anymore.
Yeah, that's not relevant to the question which I'm asking. Your own Watchtower states that you're not neutral in warfare. As I said, pardon?
Where's that quote?
That's the Watchtower, November 2016, page 29, paragraph 9. And I was a bit shocked, but it states quite clearly.
So which month is the article in 2016?
November 2016.
Okay, what page is it, please?
Page 29. And it's paragraph 9, which I shall read, if you don't mind.
Okay, I've got that.
Not everything the Bible students did during the period between 1914 and 1919 was in harmony with scriptural principles. Although they were sincere, the brothers did not always have a proper view of subjection to the secular governments. Therefore, as a group, they were not always neutral with regard to the war effort. For example, could I finish please? Could I read this?
I've got it in front of me, yeah.
Yeah, well, let's read it. For example, when the President of the United States declared that 30th of May 1918 would be set aside as a day of prayer for peace, the Watchtower urged Bible students to join in the observance. Some brothers purchased bonds to provide financial assistance to the war effort. That's talking about the Liberty Bond. Are you familiar with the Liberty Bond, also known as the Liberty Loan?
I'd have to look that up, but I don't know in principle what you mean.
During the First World War, if you wished to support the American government, you could loan them money at zero interest, called a Liberty Bond or a Liberty Loan. So if I had $1,000, I give $1,000 to the American government, and 5-6 years after the war, when the economy has recovered, they pay me back that $1,000 without any interest payments, called a Liberty Loan or a Liberty Bond. This article is really very dishonest. It admits...
We've never denied that the brothers in those days didn't have a full understanding of neutrality.
That haven't made my point. You need to let me make my point
Romans
first.
13 of being obedient to the superior authority.
But you need to let me make my point first. I haven't been able to make my point. You're assuming you're trying to judge what I'm going to say, but you're completely wrong about what I'm going to say.
Go on, say it then.
Yeah. The article is rather dishonest. It assumes that the Bible students, some of the Bible students, purchased Liberty bonds. What it doesn't say is the Watchtower itself encouraged Bible students to buy Liberty bonds. Rutherford, when he was about to go on trial, to give himself a defence in court, because he was arrested for sedition during wartime, which is a very serious charge. You can be executed for that. So what Rutherford did was, in the Watchtower, 15th of May, Zion's Watchtower, 15th of May, 1918, page 6257 in the Green reprints, he urged Bible students to buy Liberty bonds to support the American government during the First World War. So the 2016 article sort of gives the impression that some Bible students supported the war effort, and it's dishonest because it doesn't actually tell you that it was the Watchtower itself which was encouraging Bible students to support the war effort.
Are you saying he was wrong to do that?
No, I'm making a historical fact that he did encourage Bible students.
Are you saying it's wrong for religions to either participate in war?
I'm making no comment on that yet.
Well, you don't have an opinion.
I do have an opinion. I'm making no comment about it at the moment. What I'm establishing is the fact that the Watchtower...
With respect, you can't have it both ways. Either religions shouldn't get involved in war, okay, but if they can, then you're saying what he did was okay.
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm pointing out that the Watchtower...
You're calling out something that happened 100 years ago, but then in the same breath saying we're not really neutral, we do get involved in war, which hasn't been the case ever since that period.
That's not true. The Watchtower is consistently involved in warfare and politics in the Second World War, and it's involved in warfare and politics today. That's simply not true. Okay. But I'm establishing the fact that 100 years ago, the Watchtower magazine itself, 15th of May 1918 Watchtower, encouraged Bible students to buy Liberty bonds to support the American war effort. There aren't photographs that survive, unfortunately, but the National Day of Prayer that's mentioned in the 2016 November 2016 Watchtower article, page 29, it talks about, for example, when the President of the United States decreed that the 30th of May 1918 would be set aside as a day of prayer for peace, the Watchtower urged Bible students to join in the observance. Well, that's true, but it's a half-truth, because the president of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society himself, Judge Rutherford, Joseph Franklin Rutherford, went onto a raised platform. I believe it was in Washington, but I'm not sure exactly of the location. We don't have photographs of the event, unfortunately. And Rutherford went onto a raised platform with Catholic priests and Protestant clergymen, and Rutherford kneeled with them, and all of them, Catholics, Protestant, and Judge Rutherford, prayed for victory in the First World War.
Right. Well, thanks for making your points, and appreciate that. Appreciate your viewpoints.
So they weren't neutral in the First World War, you see. That's
okay. Well, that's fine. I mean, I'm interested in history like you, but
yes.
If you continue with your research, you'll find that witnesses were invited to Holocaust Memorial to recognise their neutrality in the Second World War in Germany.
That's not true.
With the Jews.
That's not quite true.
I've seen the video, and it was produced by someone who wasn't a witness. So.
Yes. I've got the original book. I've got the 1934 yearbook. We're on page 137. The writer of the 1934 yearbook, on page 137, in the Germany section, praises the new government of Germany. They're praising the, quote, the high ideals of the new government. That's the new government in Germany. They're praising the Nazi government.
So what's your viewpoint in politics and religion. Do you have an opinion on that?
I think a lot of religions that claim to be neutral in politics and warfare are actually heavily involved in both.
Do you think they're wrong in that?
I think it's hypocrisy to claim to be neutral, but actually, for instance, let me give you an example of one.
I'm sorry, I'm actually driving now. I'm taking some friends back into Exeter.
Yes.
So maybe we should talk another time.
Okay. But I mean, today the Watchtower gets share dividends from arms companies. The Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York is the sole beneficiary of the Henrietta M. Riley Trust. And some of the investments of the Henrietta M. Riley Trust are in arms companies such as Honeywell, which makes the HIMARS missile system, which is being used in Ukraine, and Northrop Grumman, which makes the B-2 bomber. They're making an upgraded version, the B-21 Raider. And the Watchtower gets share dividends from these arms companies.
Do you have investments? Do you pay tax?
I don't have any investments, no.
Do you pay tax?
Yes.
But you can't control how that money is used, can you?
You can control share dividends from arms companies. The Watchtower has the perfect right to say to the Henrietta M. Riley Trust, the approximate $700,000 a year, we don't want it. We can turn it down.
I'm driving with 3 passengers, so it's really not safe to continue now.
Okay, all right. Well, phone me when.
Inquiry. Thank you.
You phone me when it's convenient. Thank you.
Thank you.